my name is Ted Jones. I'm the president and CEO of BFLOW Solutions. And we have Chris Hall on the line also. He's the director of sales and marketing. I want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with us this morning and learning a little bit about BFLOW and looking at the software so that we can better address your needs. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and what you're currently using for software and what made you begin this search for new software? I guess those are three questions that would be very helpful to us.
Sure. So we are a sleep DME. We only do CPAP, bilevel, and supplies. We don't do oxygen or any other DME. And Sarah can talk to any of the billing stuff. That is her.
Yeah. Well, BFLOW, I'll give you a little bit of background on BFLOW. BFLOW was started back in early 2009 is when I started to develop the business and work with the software developers and architects to create this solution. It wasn't until about 2012 that we actually got a viable solution out there, but it was still only doing about 15–20% of what everyone needed it to do. So by 2016, we had gotten it to 100% capability in terms of being able to do rentals and refills and tracking of orders and better reporting and all of those good things. And today we have a very robust, full-blown system that I think you would find it very difficult to find something that is as easy and intuitive to use that gives you the same power in terms of being able to process claims, manage your day-to-day workloads, communicate internally with your team, and work externally with your partners. So I think that it's a great solution, and I'm really eager to show you what we can do for you. So this is our main log. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is it cloud-based?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we operate through the Google Chrome browser, and we always go in incognito mode. So you can see the little guy over here in the top right-hand corner, he's incognito. And that forces the computer to request the newest information, the newest downloads, and the newest updates from us every time you log in. And so the system will be operating optimally for you each time you go into it. So let me go ahead and just jump in. Chris, did you have anything you want to add before I dig into this?
You know, I'm just excited to see everything that we're going to be showing in the day. And just to touch base, we've had this discussion the other day, Amy and I, but I think she pretty much covered everything that she was looking for. And I feel fairly confident that you're going to be able to see that once we show you the demo.
Okay. Great. Okay, so I've logged in, and here we are on our home screen. We are having a boot camp coming up here in November. So if you happen to be in town or want to take a trip to California, please join us. We'd love to have you there.
We also send that invitation to Amy as well.
That's great. That's great. We also, so on our home screen, we give you all the news updates. We do videos. We do, you know, what's going on in the industry, if there's anything that needs to be updated. And then also over here on the right, you'll be able to see any task that has been assigned to you. You'll be able to see what that task is and what you need to do on that. And then if any notes have been assigned to you, you'll see all the notes here in the system, and you'll be able to click on the claim ID and jump right over to that claim to resolve that note or to respond to it quickly. Everything in BFLOW we call all orders in BFLOW are called claims from the very beginning. So the moment you create your patient profile and begin to enter, you know, prescription details, service line details, you know, things that you need to get the order out of the door and into the patient's hand, we call that a claim. Okay, so it's going to be a claim all the way through. You're not going to hear about invoices. You're not going to hear about sales orders. You're not going to hear about, you know, multi-step. It's just one smooth step in order to create claims in the software. So I'm going to take you over to the patients module, and in the patients module, this is where you'll be able to manage all of your patients that walk through the door. You'll be able to create cash patients if you're doing retail. Do you have a retail component?
Well, I mean, we bill insurance mostly, but people can pay cash, yes.
Okay, and do they walk into your store, or are you
Yes.
virtual? Okay. So we do have a POS solution that's integrated with the software that comes standard. So you can do the POS, barcode scanning, credit card transactions through the software. And so we have on the patient demographics, we have an insurance profile, and we also have a cash patient profile.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There are some flags over here on the left-hand side that just kind of tell us that this patient's on hold, this is a cash patient, this is a regular patient profile. We also have profiles in here that may be incomplete. So you can see a red profile would say that this is an incomplete profile, meaning that we cannot bill this patient's details until this red is turned green. Okay, so those indicators are very helpful. And then we have one on the right-hand side of this that you can't see, and that is it's a blue indicator, and it shows you if that patient is living in a competitive bidding area. Okay. Once competitive bidding comes back into play, if you're not a bid winner and the patient's living in a bid area, then you're going to want to refer them to a bid winner for service.
What does that mean?
Well, competitive bidding is for all Medicare patients. They take DME suppliers in each what they call a metropolitan statistical area. These are populations of 1 million or more people, and they ask the suppliers in that community or in that area to bid to be able to treat Medicare patients. And you have to bid on each product, what a CPAP would cost you, what you would service the CPAP for, what the supplies cost, and just a very long and arduous process of going through this bid on every fee schedule item in each of the categories you want to participate in. And then they take that information, they analyze it, and then sometime next year they'll be releasing the names of the companies who've won the bid for the next round. And then that means that only those winning organizations will be able to treat those patients. However, you guys are in a rural area, so I don't think it's going to really affect you. Okay.
That's probably why we don't know what it is.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's pretty big news, and if you haven't heard about it, you probably don't need to worry about it. Here we have a medical record number. So BFLOW produces this medical record number for you, and then you can reference that number by searching for a patient by their patient ID or medical record number here. You can search for the patient by last name, first name, date of birth, address, city, state, zip, or social security number. We can also find patients by insurance companies, doctors, facilities, their status, whether they're active, are they an auto resupply for CPAP supplies, are they archived, is it a cash patient, or patients that are on hold. And then we can also filter by users on our team who have been assigned to a particular patient to work. So there's a lot of things you can do in terms of filtering and sorting and finding the patient that you're looking for from this filter bar at the top. I'm going to jump right into patient Luke Phillips here, or Phillips Luke, and just take a look at his profile. So is my screen sized properly for you to be able to see it, or should I shrink it down? The blue fields are the fields that are required in order for us to transmit a 1500 claim form. So those are very important. And so we have to make sure that they're complete. If I were to take one of these out, the system will still let me save. You can see here that the profile is now incomplete. Okay, so it's very important to have the information loaded in here. Okay, so on the screen we have just like the basic demographic information. Then we have a tab up here for addresses and contacts. We can use the patient's regular address and just click this button and it'll populate that as their delivery address. We have, for accreditation purposes, we have the blue fields for the emergency contact details. And if you have a separate billing address for the patient, then that billing address detail can be filled in here. Under the diagnosis codes, we are able to search by keywords, so you don't ever have to have the specific diagnosis code. So if I type in horse, the system will search for all horse-related diagnoses, and you can go ahead and put in here, let's see here, bitten by a horse on the initial encounter. And so that's very helpful. We store all of the diagnosis codes without the decimal point. So if you search in here for a W556, the system will try to identify any HCPC codes with those letters or numbers. So it will do a wildcard search on the actual HCPC ID number or the description. This one is scratched by a cat. So then we have a tab here for primary, secondary, third, fourth insurance, and then insurance history. So you can see all the changes that have happened on the patient's insurance history over time. If you indicate that the primary insurance, if the patient is the guarantor, you would select self. The system will auto-populate all these fields up here, and then the only thing you need to do is come down here and select what their insurance company is. So we could say it's Aetna, and then I can save that. Okay. If I go back in, I should see an update on the insurance history tab that shows that the primary insurance was changed from workers' comp claim admin to Aetna, with the old insurance ID and the new insurance ID. If I put in the effective dates, the system will automatically switch claims that have not been billed yet under the outside of the effective date of the old insurance and switch it to the new insurance for billing. So it's very comprehensive in terms of, you know, it's trying to help you all the time get paid. Okay. Any questions on the demographic portion of the patient's profile?
Nothing yet.
Okay, great. So we also have the cash patient profile, same patient. I've switched this to a cash profile, and if I look at that same exact patient, you'll notice that there are no tabs up here, only one, and the only cash related details are here: billing, delivery address, and basic demographic information. So I'm going to switch this back to an active patient. Okay. And then I'm going to go back into that account, and I can do some things like check eligibility on this patient from the software. So I don't have to go to the insurance portal. We pull eligibility from all the payers that are participating at the clearinghouse for claims, remits, eligibility lookup, and then for Medicare, we can also do same and similar lookup from the software. So as long as I have the proper information in, this information is all fake. So when I hit submit, I'm going to get a fake response. But what you would see on the real response are, you know, Part A, Part B, Part D, their DME details. You would see any deductibles that have been met, co-insurance, copay amounts, all of that detail is populated here in the screen for you under the eligibility section. I can also save the eligibility lookup to my notes. So if I pull up the eligibility, I see that the patient is eligible, I can click save to PDF and notes. It will give me a PDF copy in the notes section of the system for reference, and it'll be time and date stamped. We also have the ability to do same and similar, same drill. It's all fake information, but the only thing you need to do is just select your jurisdiction, A, B, C, or D. I believe you guys are D as well. You can put in your HCPC code. We do a wildcard search, so you can put in asterisk, and the system will pull all E codes. If we hit submit, you'll get a response, and it'll give you all of the details within that response. We also have a notes section, so you'll be able to take notes in the system, and the notes section is pretty detailed. So I'll put in a test note, and the test note can be posted, and you'll notice that it's posted here. Once I post the note, I can assign the note to a team. So I can say, hey, Chris, I need you to take a look at this. Can you take a look at this? And he'll get an email with the ID number of the patient, ID number of the claim or the order that this is related to, if it is, and then he'll get it on his home screen, and then he can go in and take care of whatever is pending on that note. With the notes, we also have templates, so you can create templates. We have some for like AR follow-up, and some intake questions, so deductible and copay, eligibility insurance verification. So you see here, we can just pre-populate this information, and then we can begin to make our call and fill out the eligibility form.
Do you set up those templates, or are we able to customize them?
You can make your own, as many as you want. So the way that works is, I can just say happy day here, and then I can go down here to save a new template. This will be the happy day template, and say okay. So now if I clear this out and I find my templates, I find happy day, and it just populates. Okay,
Oh, wow.
so it's very user friendly in terms of you being able to create any type of template that you want, as simple or complex as you need in order to do your work. We also have a reminder system. So if I click on the reminder, I can remind, say, Pamela, and I can remind her on the 24th, or I can set it to remind myself and post the message. And what's going to happen is she's going to get this message. She's going to say, "Hap day." I don't know what to do with this, Ted, but she's going to get a reminder, and she'll see on this note and in the reminder system that she'll be able to go to. She'll see this note. She'll see the date that it's required for her to respond, and she'll see this note in green. So I'll take you over there to show you that in just a second. And then when she does reply, she just simply hits the reply button, and same options are still available. We can even add attachments if we want to, put a copy of the patient's ID card, or, a note to each other, or some information, a copy of the LCD, whatever the case is. You can attach that and hit reply, and then you'll see that the reply is nested under or within the actual original note. So, and this shows you how many replies, and if you want to hide your replies, you just click the number and it will hide the replies. Okay, so that is our note system. You can also print your notes as well. Okay, so if I go over here, this is patient number 396. If I just jump over here quickly to reminders, I can see that this one here, the happy day reminder, is here. If I view the note, I can see here that this one is in green. This is the one that I'm supposed to respond to, and I can do another reply. You can mark it done and reply. So then now there's a reply here that this is done, and we can move on. Now that it's done, I can mark it as complete. If I happen to make a mistake, oops, I can go back and look for completed reminders. I can find that one happy day here, and I can reopen it if I want. And then I can simply say, you know what, I need to follow up on the 31st, and I can change the follow-up date. So there's basically your reminder solution for tickling files and being able to, navigate through that. From the patients, when I click on a particular account, I'm able to see all claims and notes related to the account without actually going in. So you'll notice that this claims activity on the right-hand side is visible, and it gives me a drop down showing me all of the claims activity on this for this patient. If I hover over the ID number, I'll see what is actually on the claim. So I'll see that this is for an E0570, a nebulizer. It was a rental. The data service was 8/13/2019, and it was a Slater Labs model number, whatever. And then we have filter, disposable, used, aerosol, compressor, and then we also have what else is on here? An A7015. So you can see the actual claim that's there without having to go into the claim. If I want to go to the claim, I can just click 3167. It'll take me over to that particular claim on the claims module, which I'm going to show you next. And it will, this is the actual order, 3167. And here are the service lines of the things that were ordered. Here's the actual claim amount, the total. And this claim is the claim billing is pending. So this has not been transmitted yet. And so we're waiting for some additional information or for someone to set this to ready to transmit, where it can be sent to the insurance company for payment. I'm going to jump out of here real quick. I'm going to go back over to patients. And then I can see all the notes for claim 3167. I can see all the notes that have been stored for this particular patient. I can add a new note, or I can upload a document or attach a file if I want to the documents for this particular patient. In the system, we also have a document management, so you can store all of your documents related to this patient's case. So I have a copy of the delivery ticket here. So this is a BFLOW generated delivery ticket, and I can see that this was electronically signed on our mobile device, and it tells us geotag exactly where it was signed, longitude and latitude, and the date that it was signed. When a customer uses our mobile device, when they sign the mobile device, the patient signs the mobile device for the delivery, that signature and delivery ticket is received back in your software in your office immediately, and you can begin to go through the process of billing that item, maybe even before your driver returns back to the office. And then we have another attachment here. So you can attach up to 1 gigabyte of documents on here. And as you can see, these are very small files, 95K. So there could be thousands of records in here before you consume any of your data storage for this patient. So each patient gets 1 gigabyte of storage. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? And then we do have these are all cash. This is on hold. We do have a payment on account solution. So if I go over here to payment on account, I can see that this patient has a free, meaning there is no claim that this payment is associated with. And this particular payment that came in, there's a check number here, can be applied to any open balances. The amount of that payment was $50, and in the future, I could, once I have a patient balance, I can apply this $50 to the patient balance, or if you allow it, the system will automatically apply that balance for you for any open patient orders if you set it to do that. I can also put in notes related to POA as well.
Okay, I have a question on that. So I get a lot of patient payments where obviously they overpay and they would rather me just put it as on account for the next time. So that's what you're saying is I could post some of it to a claim and then the rest would be
in an account. Yes.
Log. Okay.
That's correct. Okay, so then it is tracked and captured, and then if you anytime you can print a payment receipt, or you can print a payment on account statement in the system. So I'll show you how to get to your payment on account statement. Right now, what I'm going to do for Princess Leia, I'm going to go ahead and create a new claim. Okay, and so what the system does is it will bypass the claims listing page, which I'll show you shortly. It'll take you directly into a new claim for this particular patient. And then you've got some boxes here or some panels that I want to describe to you. So this panel is related to the patient's demographic information. So it gives you all the details that you saw on the patient side. And if I happen to need to make any changes to this patient's account, I can either click edit profile or the patient's name, and the system will pull up the demographic information. I can change any details on this account that is necessary. They were born in 79, 1/12/79. I can save that, and you'll see that it's instantly updated in the patient profile. So it's very convenient to be able to make changes to insurance companies, to demographics, or anything related to the patient account without leaving the actual claim that you're working in. This panel on the right-hand side will tell you information about the claim and its current status or disposition. So this claim has no claim number, so it's not an actual claim yet. It hasn't been added by anyone. There's no billed on date, so we know it wasn't transmitted to the insurance company. So that will give you kind of some clear indications about what's going on with the system. The system will tell you if it's been crossed over, what its current status and state is, so you can gather a lot of information from this particular section of the screen. Down here, if you create purchase orders for this particular claim, you'll see the purchase order details listed here. And if there's anything on back order, that information will become visible there. So I'm going to go ahead and create an order for a CPAP. And so I need like a sleep apnea diagnosis. So I can add I can add diagnosis codes here in the claim screen or to the patient's profile. If I add it to the patient's profile, it'll always be available and visible to you on every time you create a new claim. Those chronic diagnoses on the profile will always pop up. If there are some specific claim related diagnoses, we can add those to the claims, and those will be specific to the claim only. So we can just say that this patient suffers from sleep apnea. I can add it. It's going to check it off. Let me move my little thing here. It's in the way. It's ranked number 1. I'm not going to use muscle weakness. I'm just going to use the sleep apnea. And then I'm going to go over here to the referring doctor. I can see that Dr. Bell has already been added. They are PACOS enrolled, so I'm not going to have an issue with payment. I'm going to look at my insurances, and it looks like this is going to be a Medicare Region C. And I have the ability, if I have multiple insurances, I can change the billing order for any insurance. So I can make the primary the secondary and the secondary the primary, or I can say only bill the primary and do not bill the secondary, and the system will follow those rules and process it according to how you have it configured. So I'm going to say that this Medicare is the first insurance, and then I'm going to go to my service lines. I'm going to add a new service line. I can either type in CPAP or I can put in the HCPCS code. How do you guys generally look up your codes?
We pretty much have ours memorized since we only do that, so we just type in the code.
Okay, so this will be an E06 and 01, and the system will pull up all the different versions of the E06 that we have. I can drill it down a little bit more, and I've got a rental, I've got a purchase, I've got a kit. So I'm going to use a purchase kit. Okay, and inside the kit, that means there are multiple items on here. Maybe it's supplies and filters and tubing and all of that stuff that goes with the CPAP, the initial CPAP. I'm going to select sleep apnea as the diagnosis. I will do this one as a new purchase, and then I'll do another one as a rental so you can see how the rental works. I can select inventory. So if I have inventory on file, looks like I have a ResMed AirSense 10 here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'm going to save it. So now I have that. And then if I come up here and select my delivery method, I'm going to physically deliver it. And Pamela is going to deliver it. Then I'm going to hit save and continue. And once I hit save and continue, this becomes a real claim in the system. So now this is claim number 3266. And I can now track this claim, follow this claim. I can do things like print a delivery ticket for this particular claim. And let's just go down and see what this kit did. And since this was a kit, it added all this stuff to it. Okay, so I now have a humidifier, I have a mask, I have headgear, I have tubing, I have nasal interface, I've got a pillow, nasal pillows, face cushions, nasal cushions, and any of this stuff I can simply just come over here and delete it if I don't need it. So this looks like they added every possible thing you could put on a CPAP. And then they come in and just delete off the things that they don't want to ship in this particular order. If I go back over here to this tab, you can see here, this is my delivery ticket with all 100 things on there that is to be delivered, and you have a place for the patient to sign or a caregiver to sign. So this is, and your logo will be prominent here as well as your business address. So it automatically produces the delivery ticket for you. Other good things that it does is it will make the delivery packet for you. So the information that needs to be supplied, who are you guys accredited to through?
HQAA.
HQAA. So I can pretty much assure you that this will comply with HQAA. The supplier standards here, the cap rental purchase agreement is there, patient rights and responsibilities, notice of privacy practices, all of that detail is already in here, and it can be updated by you, or you can use what we've given you, customer satisfaction survey and other information that you need for accreditation purposes. So all of that information is automatically supplied through the system. We have a fax cover sheet if you want to fax out. We have packing slips, pickup tickets, patient statements, invoices. We can do so now that we've got the claim, we have the RX came in. So what we probably want to do is print a standard prescription. And so this will be a 7-element form. And it will, on that prescription, put all the 7 elements, including all the information that they're purchasing on this form. You just need to fill in length of need, and length of need can be filled in over here. So I can say 99 and submit it, and the system will update that with 99 is the length of need. I can add in justification, prognosis details. Anything that I'm supposed to be filling out, I can. Anything the doctor is supposed to fill out, the doctor will. And this will be sent to Dr. Stephen Bell. Okay. I can then fax this from the software directly to Dr. Bell for Dr. Bell to sign and return to me. Okay. What else? All right. So now that we have our order in the system, I can go over to my checklist. And this is kind of, it's annoying to some people, but it's good for some people, and it's that way because people who know how to bill, they just want to jump to transmitting a claim and billing it off. But there are over 40 steps to transmit a claim or to get a claim to the point where it can be billed. And so what we've done is we've created a checklist to kind of track the status of your orders. And once we start using the checklist for the orders, it will allow us to understand how many are entered, how many have been delivered, how many claims are sitting waiting to be transmitted, how many rejects do we have, how many denials. And so it's a very useful tool in terms of keeping track of every claim in the system and knowing where that claim is in your process, and being able to quantify, how many claims are entered. I've got 25 and they're worth $35,000. So maybe I need to start working on my entereds to get those pushed through. So as far as a checklist is concerned, we've got some tasks, some sub steps that need to be done. If anything is not applicable, I can just check not applicable, and it will take it out of the listing. It won't be tracked. So some of the things you need to do, right? You got to upload your prescription. You got to check your patient profile. You got to add your insurances, check your diagnoses, patient assessment. If you do that for accreditation, delivery address needs to be verified, eligibility needs to be verified, and same and similar needs to be verified. If you've done all those things, you can check them off. The system will update this, and it's now in a B pending status. So if I go over to, and then what happens is where it says updated by, if I do a save and continue, you'll see that once I go back to enter, TED updated all this information. So it gives total accountability, who took care of what task. You guys are a small team, you probably know who took care of what task, but it's a good way to keep you on track. Pending, updating the physician's doctor information. Did I check the LCD? Is the requested documentation from the order provider there? Has it been verified, and does this claim meet medical necessity? So I can check off that and say, yes, it's good. And then a final review before we allow this claim or this product to be delivered to the patient is, we need did you get the detailed written order back? Do you have the chart notes? And does it meet medical necessity? I don't need to do patient assessment. Once that's done, it moves it to a prepare for delivery status. And if I go over here to prepare for delivery, it's basically pick the items, complete your equipment inspection, print your delivery ticket, verify the address, and then the next thing is it goes F. And once it goes F status, it shows up on the mobile app. And so if someone's using the mobile app for deliveries, they can pick inventory, they can see what their deliveries are for the day, they can see just about everything in the system. So equipment has been delivered, patient was trained, vehicle inspection was done, claim has been reviewed, and data service field updated and consistent with the date. So once this equipment has been delivered, your delivery ticket comes back into the office. If you're not using mobile, you need to change the service lines. The data service on the service line needs to be, so let's say it was delivered tomorrow. I can change this to the 24th. I can set all service lines to this date, And what the system will do is it'll update all these lines to the 24th. Okay, so if you can imagine having to go into each service line to change the date to match the delivery ticket, that just saves you so much time. Some of the other things that we can do here, I can go over here and I can copy service lines. So say I want, I don't know, I want a chin strap and I want to bill it every month, that particular chin strap, and the number of days to copy. So I can copy it from the 23rd and I'm going to go to the 31st. This is a really, really bad example, but I'm just going to demonstrate what the system can do, and then apply it. And so then when I look at my service lines, you'll see the 31st, the 30th, 29th, 28th, 27th, 26th, 24th, 25th, that chin strap has been copied all those times for each day. So if you are doing that type of daily rental where you have to bill each day, which I don't believe you do for CPAP, this is like good for lymphedema pumps and DVT machines and things like that. You can quickly create copies of service lines so you don't have to do it manually. All right, so go ahead.
I have a question about that because I see rental months in there, so there's got to be a way to do monthly recurring. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. So let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and save and exit out of this claim. Oh, wait, first, let me just show you one step. I have these last two options here under F delivered status. Is the claim has been reviewed, the data service field is updated from the delivery ticket. Yes, we just did that. The claim meets all required compliance and billing guidelines. Yes. Okay, now it's in G, ready to transmit. Now, once I've done all of that, I don't have to do anything else. I can go save and exit. Do you want the system to fill from date for each service line based on the data service? Yes. Okay. It's saying that because I've got all those weird days in there. Let me close this out. And if I go over to the claims and I go to my dashboard, then claim number 3266, I should have that here. Not yet, it didn't save. So, hold on here. I'm going to log into the claims listing page so you can see all your claims. And here's claim 3266 with all the stuff that we put on here. And it's still showing a B pending status because I don't think I saved my checklist details. So I got to get this here. All right. Get it. Great. All right. And it would not allow me to save because of the different dates of service. Okay, so we are saved now. I can close this. I can go over to my dashboard and I should be able to see 3266. And what this dashboard is, this is where all of your claims that are going to be sent to the clearinghouse. Our clearinghouse is Ability, A-B-I-L-I-T-Y, Ability. That clearinghouse is where this claim is headed. And once it's showing in a pending status, it's going to stay in that status for about 30 minutes to an hour. Once that 30 minutes to an hour has been reached, the system will electronically submit this claim to the insurance company individually. In about 5 minutes, you're going to get a response, and that response is going to tell you if that claim was received, if it was rejected, or if it's going on through the process to reach the insurance company. So if I look at, let me go back to my claims listing page. And the reason why we do the individual claims is because it gives you a quick response. Rather than doing a nightly batch job and then getting your responses the next business day, and then having to work your rejections and then retransmit them on the next batch, this just allows you to do it on a case-by-case basis. So each claim that gets transmitted has its own life, and it gets an instant update as to its status. So you can fix and repair it 3 or 4 times in a day. If it keeps getting rejected, you can fix and repair it and retransmit it again in that same business day, which helps you accelerate your cash. So now I can see that this claim is in a ready to transmit status. So if I want to see all my claims that are currently sitting on the dashboard waiting to be transmitted to the insurance company, I can just simply go here to status. I can say, show me all my ready to transmit claims and search. And the system is now showing me every claim that's ready to transmit. And here's a claim here that shows it's in the 13th month, and it's been suspended. So that means that it's going to be converted to a purchase, or whatever the case is, or why someone created the fee schedule with the suspension in the 13th month. That's what happens. It will stop the transmission of the claim, and it will do it temporarily. So if I wanted to resume billing, I can just simply come over here and select, I don't know if you can see it, continue rebilling, and the system will set it to ready to transmit. That was claim number 3208. And you can see now claim 3208 is now in a ready to transmit status. So I can restart the billing or stop the billing whenever necessary. So if I want to stop Princess Leia from going out, then I would suspend it temporarily or permanently. If I suspend it permanently, the system is going to generate a pickup ticket. It's going to take it to put the equipment back. It's going to start doing all the things you need for equipment recovery. If I do it temporarily, it's just going to stop the rentals. Okay. All right. So let's do this. You had a question about recurring rentals. So let's just do Princess Leia's mom, and we will go ahead and select the diagnosis. Here's the doctor. I'll go to the service lines, and I'm going to put on a CPAP that is a rental, and quickly just kind of go through the process. So if I'm creating a claim in real life, this is basically how I'm going to do it. So it's an E0601, and I'm looking for an RR modifier for the rental. There it is. So the system gives you the RRKHKX. If it's in month 2, say we're picking up from Easy Claim, you billed out 4 months already, I can go to month 5 and it will change the modifiers for month 5. The dollar amount will change if your fee schedule is set up that way, and it will generate months 5 through 13 for this product. For now, I'm going to set this to month 1. I'm going to select a piece in inventory, and I'm going to save this line. I'm going to set this to delivery. It's going to be delivered by Pamela, and I'm going to save and continue. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is just go through my checklist. I've got all the things that I need to get it out of the door, and I'm going to transmit this claim to the insurance company. We've delivered it, and it's going to transmit to the insurance company. I'm going to save and exit, and this is claim number 3267. Okay, and now you can see here, claim 3267 has month 1. If I go to page, oh, I'm still filtered. Let me get out of here. Search. Okay, claim number 3267. So you see the parent claim? So the original claim number is 3267. Oops. Clicked it too hard. So what the system does, it always shows you your newest claim first. Okay, so let me just refresh my screen. And your newest claim is always going to be at the top of the screen. All right, and so 3279 is month 13 through month 4. If I go to page 2, I can see month 1. So month 1, this is the first month's rental, 1023. If I don't change this date, if I change this date, I delivered on the 24th, the system will update its child claims the next month, month 2, to 1124, and then 1224. And then it'll go all the way through all 13 months, month 4, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October 24th, 2020 is the last claim. Okay, the system will automatically, and you see here, month 4, it's suspended temporarily. So it's going to stop in month 4 for the compliance. Once you've got the compliance details in hand, you can then resume your billing, and it will continue month 5 through 13. Any questions on that?
No, that's great.
Okay, so here's the cool thing. If I go up here to my settings, and I go into my facility settings, okay, and this is where we store all information about your organization and how you like to bill and all that. I can go to settings, and I can just make sure that I have this set, automatically transmit rentals. If this is checked on November 23rd, that claim is going to transmit. It's going to go to the dashboard all by itself, unless you
Okay.
stop it. On December 23rd, the next claim is going to transmit. On January 23rd, if on December that claim was denied, January will not go. That claim will be temporarily suspended because there was a denial. So in order for us not to get months and months and months of denials, we stop the rentals once the first denial is received. Once you fix the denial and there's a payment on the account, the system will resume the billing. Okay, so that's a very handy tool. It's kind of like fire and forget. You tell it, I've got a rental, it's for 13 months, or it's oxygen, it's 60 months, and it's just going to continue to bill unless it hits a snag. Okay, and how do you know if you hit a snag? Well, up here on the top of the screen, we've given you some really prominent key performance indicators, and this is telling you how many claims you have that are ready to send. Now, these could be future claims. In fact, some of these claims are sitting here in this ready to send status. So when I look at my dashboard, it's only going to show me claims as of today. Also, how many have been sent to the insurance company that we're waiting for adjudication on? How many were rejected? And how many were denied? So if I want to see my denials or my rejections, which I should be looking at that all the time, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to filter by rejects. Rejects. I'm going to get the first time billed and my automatic rebills. I'm going to check both of those, and I'm going to hit search. And then the system is showing me all 9 rejections that I need to work. The system automatically changes the status of this. If I go over here to the checklist, it automatically changes this to a rejected status. Once I fix this claim, I can mark it complete, or if I want to rebill it, then I'm going to uncheck this box here. And I'm going to just simply uncheck transmit. And I'm going to clear my, I'm going to hit this button, go back to transmit. So it's going to now set it to G ready to transmit status for me. It's going to put it back on the dashboard. If this is the original claim number, if it's a resubmission or corrected claim, I can go ahead and set it to a corrected claim, and it will transmit as a corrected claim with the claim number from the insurance company, their reference number, and it will automatically bill. So this claim is sitting on the dashboard waiting to be rebilled, and it's one less rejection that needs to be dealt with for the day. Okay, let me refresh my screen here. And now I'm from rejects are now 8. Same goes with denials. I can filter by denials, go through the same process. I can look at all my denials, hit search, and I can see how many claims are in a denied status right now. One of the nice things, the nice views I like, is to be able to just kind of see, you know, where everything is. All my claims, what is their status? You know, how many do I have in each one of the statuses? Where are my backlogs? And so I can simply see by every status on the left, how many claims are affected by that status, and how many dollars are associated with it, and what percentage of my total AR does that represent. So that gives me a really clear indication of where my backlogs are, where my rejects are, where my denials are. It gives you a lot of clear information. The system will also allow you to see some performance metrics. So I can see, again, what's ready to send, what are my rejects and my denials, but I can also see my 3 months average billing, 3 months average payments, my total AR, my DSO. I can see my monthly payment volume. I can see my monthly billing volume, and I can see who my top referrers are. The system—
Is there a way that you can see your payer mix?
So all the different payers that you have, or is it by payer, kind of by payer, all the different, I mean, the percentage of claims by payer?
Yeah, like the amounts by payer.
Yes, we do have a, I don't know if in my demo, we do have a management report, and that management report gives you like denials, payer mix,
Mm.
all of that detail in a 6-page report, PDF.
Okay.
Let's see here. So I've transmitted my claim, right? It went to the insurance company. Now, one more thing that I want to show you, just kind of some general information about claims transmission. We give you a rundown of all of the details that were received from the clearinghouse related to the claim that's being transmitted. I may not have a good reference here in my demo for you, but let me just see if I have something. So let me go in here to this claim and let me take a look at my billing history, and I can see here it will show me when it was transmitted, and then when if it's live, if it's a real order, it will show you it was accepted by the clearinghouse, it was rejected by the clearinghouse, the rejection reason is X, or it was received by the clearinghouse, it was acknowledged by the payer now has it received, and then we're waiting for adjudication. So it gives you the complete rundown in your billing history. We also have the ability to do a CMN. So we can respond to, we can send a CMN from the system. So if I come up here to forms and I go for an oxygen CMN, here it is, print the CMS 846 pneumatic compression device. I can print out the certificate of medical necessity. It gives me it. I can fax this to my doctor from the system. And then once I receive it back, I can fill in the responses. When I fill in these responses get transmitted to the insurance company with the claim. Okay. If I have a prescription on the order, I can put in my prescription details, length of need, if I did a face-to-face, refill quantity, expiration, and if I auto refill it. If you set it to auto refill, the system will generate a new claim once a month or on the frequency that you specify. So if I auto refill every 90 days, every 3 months, it's going to generate a new claim. Okay. The system will also accept your authorization details here. If I have a box 19 note that I need to add, I would add it here under box 19. If I have a service line note that I need to add, I'll hit edit and I'll just enter my service line note. My service line note will be transmitted with the claim. So will the box 19 note. Okay. What else? I can do the fax from the system. So I can fax any form that is like a standard RX. I can fax that. I can specify who I'm faxing it to. I can fax it to the doctor. I just need to find the doctor's name. I'm going to fax it to Dr. Stephen Bell. I hit send, and the system is processing this fax. Okay. If I don't get my fax confirmation, I can hit send again, and the system will generate another fax back to that doctor. So all of that is integrated within the software. And then if I have, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything for this that you haven't seen me demonstrate as it relates to creating a claim, transmitting a claim, in forms and documentation? Oh, 1500 claim form. So I can do it with a border. And when I print my 1500 claim form, it's asking me, do you want to set the bill date? Or do you not want to set the bill date? So if I'm going to fold it up and mail it, I'm going to set the bill date as today. If I'm going to just look at it just to see, I'm going to say, go ahead and set the build on date. The system will generate this 1500 and it will fill in all the blanks and all the details for the order. And I should have a build on date of 10/23. This build on date cannot be changed. Okay. So, or I can print a 1500 without a border. If I have red forms and I want to print it on here, I can do this. Or if you want, you can transmit it to Ability and they'll mail it for you. Okay, so I think that's a majority of what's in the system. Now, let's talk about payments coming in. So once I transmit this claim to the insurance company, it's going to go, they're going to adjudicate it, And then once they've processed the payment, they've EFT'd the money to your account, and then they prepare their electronic remittance advice. We go out, we pick up the electronic remittance advice from Ability, we bring it back, and we post all the payments. Okay. Once payments have been posted, you'll notice you can go into the balance, you can click the balance on the claim, and you would see for each service line the payments and the adjustments for each one already applied. Or you can manually go in and create a service line entry, a payment entry, or you can see the actual EOB that was returned from the insurance company. So let me go over to our payments module so I can show you what that looks like. You guys are manually posting payments now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're totally gonna love this. Okay, so you can see here that we have some closed EFTs, and they're closed because if we go here to view claims, there is nothing else that needs to be done. It was the primary and the secondary have paid, and that payment posting is done, and the patient now owes 92 cents. I can look at all of these, and let's just take one that has 12. Okay, so this has 12 items on it. So here's your check number. Here's the date of the payment, the amount that was paid, when it was posted, the number of claims on the check. 0 have been reconciled, and this is for internal purposes. I like to reconcile every check so that I know that I've worked it, and then I can close it. And the way that you would reconcile it is you'd go in, you'd view your claim. It gives you a list of all the claims on here. I can click these links and it'll take me to this specific claim if I want to see it. And then I can check this box, and that reconciles, or that tells the system that we've reviewed this and it's good to go. We're not going to rebill it. We're not going to do anything additional to it. If I want to look at this particular claim, let's look at this one. I'm going to open this up in a new tab, which is one of the neat things about BFLOW. You can open up multiple tabs. Here is the claim, and I can simply either I'll go in, I'll show you how I've been doing it. There's a $6 balance on here, and that balance is saying that the secondary insurance owes $6.44. So you can see where I have highlighted here. If I click the balance, I can see payments are in blue, adjustments are in green. So I can see that Medicare paid had an allowed amount of $32.18. They paid $25.23, and this was posted by the system. It was posted on 8/24/2019, and the EOB date was 8/23. And then there was a patient responsibility of $6.44, CO45, and then your sequestration. Okay, if CHAMP VA is not actually the secondary insurance, then I can just simply change this to patient responsibility. It will switch this whole account to patient responsibility. And if there's any POA available, it will automatically apply that POA to that balance. If you want the claim to continue on to CHAMP VA, you just leave it alone, because Medicare has already crossed it over and we're waiting. Oh, no, it's a Medicare region C. Medicare did not cross it over. BFLOW crossed it over. So your primary insurance claims that have secondary, tertiary, and fourth insurances on them, if the paying payer, that sounds interesting, the paying payer hasn't crossed it over to the next payer, BFLOW will do it for you. So you don't have to touch it. Okay.
So we don't have to monitor that part.
Not at all. Okay.
Okay.
And we send it with the remittance advice details as well. So if I want to see the remit for this, I can click on EOB details, and I can see the details here. And this is, let's see, let me scroll this down. Okay, we can see the whole thing. Claim number 1218. This was processed as primary. It was received on 8/12. The billed amount was $66.08. It was I think place of service 12. Control number. Here's the payment amount. And then here are the remark codes. You can see, was it auto crossed over? The answer is no. That's why BFLOW did it. And here is the procedure code for the service line that we created. And then here are the adjustments and the payments. And then the remark codes. We have converted the EOB from the easy print format to our own custom format. We think it's easier to read. So that is it. You can print the EOB if you want as a PDF or to your printer. And that is how the claims are processed and adjudicated. So if I go back over here to my payments and I save this, on this check, you'll see that 2 of the claims have been reconciled. Now, if you're very anal about payments and underpayments and denials and working your denials, you can simply go in here and you can say, show me the ERAs for the primary insurance, secondary insurance, show me my denied ERAs, and show me my reversals. So if I look for denials, I don't think I'm going to see any. It looks like here is one. Check, the amount is $406.16, and this was for claim. This is interesting. I think my thing is doing something weird, but there is, looks like, no, there are no denials on here. This is the total check amount. So it would list out the separate EOBs underneath if there were denials on here. So that's useful. The system will show you which payer these payments came from, who the payee was. It will show you, again, the number of claims that were actually posted. If there are any patient mismatches, it will show you which patients were mismatched that could not be applied, payments could not be applied to. It will show you what was billed, the total number of adjustments. I mean, it gives you all the details. And it will, if there's anything on the EOB, the explanation of benefits that came from other software, then it will show me non-BFLOW claims as well that were processed. So you're converting from easy claim, you're going to see some easy claim remits coming through. Once the remittance advices get switched to Ability, you'll see those there, and then you'll see also those that were processed by BFLOW. Any questions on payments?
Maybe just a little bit about once it goes to patient responsibility, patient payments, do they need to, I know you said you had credit card payments. Is there like a patient portal or some way they can connect to pay online, or how does that work? Would they have to come in?
There is a patient portal. So what happens is the patient portal is available to your patients. On your patient statement, we issue the patient a unique ID number and the URL to go to the patient portal. If they go out to the patient portal, register as a new patient or return as a returning patient, they put in their claim number or their patient ID, they log into the system, they'll see all of their balances that are open. They can pay all of them, they can pay one of them, or they can set up payment plans on those. But that is printed on the statement itself. And so there's a couple of ways to see your patient balances. So I can look here on this claim listing page, and we have this column here that says current responsibility. And if I go by filter by, there's a couple of ways you can filter. Some interesting things you can do unrelated to what I was about to show you, but you can see claims by month. So show me all my month 7 claims, show me all my month 4 claims, show me, claims related to salespeople, doctors, etc., insurances, by status, who it's assigned to, and then claim types. And these are all my active, archive, cancel, refills. Let me find my patient responsibility payment types. Cash claims, insurance claims. Okay, what am I missing here? I'm not the biller. I pretend to be. Let's see here. Date of pickup. I don't know if I can filter by patient balance here. I should be able to. Let me see. Insurances. I'll have to talk to our billing people and just kind of see where that is. That's really strange that we don't have it. I know it's here. You can filter by patient responsibility, but the other thing you can do is come over to reporting. You go to batch printing. You say, I want patient statements. You put in your email address, and I want statements as of, I don't know, the 31st. I'm going to exclude statements sent 30 days in arrears, 30 days ago. And once I send those statements, I want to mark them as sent. And if I have multiple facilities, I want to choose the facility that I want my statements to be printed or created for, and then I create my report. The system will then send me an email notification when the report is done, and then I can go and view all of my statements that need to be transmitted. I can print them all out. I can sort through them, pick the ones I actually want to send, and then I can fold and submit them to the patients for payment. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Along with the patient portal, as far as making payments, is there any way for them to communicate or send us a message or anything in that portal?
No, but I will jot that down because I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
They should have the ability to add notes and communicate with you for sure. Chris, will you write that down?
I am writing it down.
Great, thank you. All right, let's see here. Payments. Okay, so I've shown you payments. This is POA statements, so patient on account statements. And you can see all of your patient on accounts. These are your patient ID numbers or your medical record numbers. This is the patient's name, and here's how much POA they have in reserve or in free POA. Okay, and free POA is just basically unassigned. It's not assigned to a claim. It's sitting there waiting to be assigned. Okay. We also have, I've shown you reminders, our inventory module. You can track your serialized inventory, and you saw how I could add the inventory onto the order. I can search the inventory by accounting code, serial number, description, model number, claim number, 3266. Let's search by claim number, 3266. Let's see if we get anything. And that claim, we created this one earlier, and you can see here, this is the CPAP that was added to AirSense, and it was marked as sold because it was a purchase. If it was a rental, it would have been marked as a rental. Okay. And you can see here the different statuses you can create, ready for use, what's been sold, what's been rented, what's in quarantine, what's being cleaned, etc. If I want to change anything on this particular item, I can simply go in, I can look at my product, I can change its disposition. I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to mark this one obsolete. And then I can see also which HCPCS codes are associated with this particular item. So all my E1390s, oxygen concentrator HCPCS codes are here. So if any of these wind up on the service line, this piece of equipment will be made available for picking at the service line. We also have inventory by non-serialized. So any of your supplies, and we track quantity. So if I was to sell an arm sling, the system will reduce this by the number of units that was sold. This item is red. It's showing that there's a low quantity. And it's a low quantity because the minimum quantity I've set for this to have on hand is 20, and there's currently 15. If I check off auto resupply, the system will generate a PO and send that purchase order to the vendor for resupply.
So if we do our own ordering, because we are part of a hospital, would we just skip that part and manually put in our inventory?
You could. You definitely
Okay.
could. Okay. And adding inventory is really simple. So if I want to add inventory, so I want to get, say I'm going to add some more slings, I can either go in and I can up the quantity currently on hand to 55. Save it, and that changes the quantity to 55. So it's real easy on the tracked non-serialized inventory. If I go to my serialized inventory and I want to add more TENS units, rather than creating a whole new TENS unit, I can just simply say, and I'm going to get it from the same supplier and the same model, then I'm just going to create a copy. And this TENS unit is, the vendor is Texas Medical Distributors, but I can say, you know what, I'm going to get these TENS units from Drive. And the model, I'm going to change the model to a TT410. And then I'm going to order those, and when I receive them in, that's when I would fill this form out And I would just say, hey, you know, I got 10 new units. And so now it wants me to add in, I can use my barcode scanner and I can scan the serial numbers of the 10 new items. When I scan those new items, it will add it to our inventory. So I'll just do 2. I'll put in some serial numbers here, and I'll go ahead and move this Zoom thing out of the way and hit save. And then you'll see that I have 2 new serial numbers, 2 new TINS units of the TT410 added, and they're both marked ready to use. So inventory management, very simple. Some of the other things I can do, I can go to my equipment inspection. I can look at, you know, did my driver inspect the equipment and document it? I can look at the delivery log to see what patient has had that piece of equipment in the past. So if I go here to delivery log, I can see that Princess Amidala got on 10/4, she got this device, and it would show me every other patient that received that same device, same serial number over time if it's a rental item that continues to be picked up and re-rented. I can do an exchange of the equipment. I can exchange it for here's the old equipment, and I can exchange it for the new piece of equipment by selecting the new equipment. So that does an automatic exchange. I can do a pickup of the equipment, create a copy, or I can archive this piece of equipment. So there's quite a bit that you can do, and there's more that we're adding to this particular module. So we're really excited about, you know, how our inventory module is turning out. I think we have one of the simplest, most comprehensive inventory modules of all the software that you'll find out there, designed specifically for DME. One of the other benefits that we have is if you choose not to put the the inventory on the claim at the time you're creating the delivery ticket, the system won't stop you from doing that. Other systems will prevent you from being able to create the order because let me put my phone on mute. This is very annoying. You won't be able to create the order until you actually have physical inventory on hand. The reason we allow you to do it without is because a driver could have inventory in their vehicle. They can pick that inventory from the vehicle and put the inventory on the delivery ticket and use the mobile app for signature, and the model, serial number, and manufacturer will be printed on the delivery ticket from the mobile app. Once an order has been signed and signed by the patient and delivered, we don't have to go back through a confirmation process and create an invoice. We just bill that claim that was just confirmed. So there's 2 or 3 steps that we cut out, which are quite time consuming if you are using some other softwares that are out there. I've shown you reporting a little bit with the batch printing, but let me show you your payment analysis report. And this particular report, I can go back, let me go back to 2018 because I want to make sure I get enough information on here. I'm going to look for payments that were posted between October 1, 2018 and October 31st, 2019. So I'm looking for a year's worth of payments. I can say, hey, show me specific insurances. I can say I want to see salesmen. I want to see it by doctors. So we could say, if I just leave it alone, it'll automatically do it. I can choose specific doctors, choose specific patients, facilities if I have multiple locations. I can say, show me payments for specific HCPCS only, or specific claim numbers. And then if I want to show the parameters, I'm going to say, yes, I want you to show me all the details. I want you to show me the payers, the salesmen, if there are any, the doctors. This is going to be a big report. The patients, I want to see HCPCS codes. I want to see the check numbers, and I want to see the claims associated with that. And then I hit submit. And then down here, you'll see that the report is building. And so now I have my payment report. I'll just click this little button here, and so I can scroll through the pages. So let's see what we get. Okay, so I have Dr. Chin had patient Urso and patient Wick, and these are this order, and these claims were for this patient, and I can see the total amount. It's on another page. I've got so much information that it's probably on multiple pages. So you have to be real careful about how much you select. Let me pare this back a little bit so that I can give you at least some detail that makes sense for you. Okay, let's see if that improves it. Okay, so here we go. So if I zoom in, let's do 100% and take a look at this. So here's my payment analysis. And this is by HCPCS code, check number, and claim details and the amount that was paid. Okay, so you can see all of that detail for your payments. So there's lots of different ways you can slice and dice it. You can show me payments based on date of service, based on bill date, based on the EOB date, or based on posted date. And then I can have two different date parameters. I have date parameter 1 is going to be by posted date, but I can also do it by date parameter 2. I want posted date, but I want it for dates of service that are for November only. And then I can see all of my November 2018 payments. November 2018 dates of service with payments that have come in between October 2018 and October 2019. So there's lots of different ways that you can kind of combine and flip these parameters around to get the information that you need on the report. Another report that we have is our AR report. So this one's always really important. Everyone wants to know what their AR is. It's the whole purpose of why we're here. We got to track what didn't get paid. So if I go to my accounts receivable report, I'll just do this basic report here the way that it's set up. There's nothing here. So let me go back to 20. And so without doing any parameters, it's going to give me by insurance, the total amount that's owed, and what is outstanding on the order. And just give me 1 second. Okay, and so there I have my by insurance, and if I want, I can say, okay, show me the patient detail too, because if the patient owes the balance, then I want to know how much they owe, and so it will give me by insurance each patient, their date of birth, their phone number, detail, and the total amount that was outstanding by insurance. So it's breaking it down by insurance. I don't really care for the insurance. Let me just do it by. For now, let me just do it without the insurances. And we have some really wacky data here in the in the demo. So when you get your data in, you'll be able to see specifically what you're looking for and the way that you want to see it. But all those patients that owe balances, their information is listed here. So this is outstanding patient AR report. Okay. We also have some reports for, can you tell me when prescriptions are expired? Show me all my permanently suspended or temporarily suspended claims. Show me my, daily POS statement for my retail business. Shows me all of my revenue that was generated for the day, or I can do it for a bigger time period. Total credit card sales, checks, cash, refunds, refundable deposit, all of that information will be populated for you. So there's different reports for different aspects of the system. I've got an inventory value report, inventory low quantity, supply report. And then I have the ability to create claims that I'm not going to send to the insurance company, but I'm going to invoice a facility. And so I have a facility invoice report, and that system, if I pick the actual facility that this is for, let's just say it's for, where's the main one? Brady. Okay, and create the report. It probably won't have any, but if there were any orders in here that were created they would be invoiced to Brady, and then it would show me every single patient and what was supplied to Brady and a total dollar amount for them to pay that invoice. So you have the invoice report as well. And then we have Insight. And Insight is for accreditation. And this allows us to track things like our after hours call log, our customer complaint log, our concentrator maintenance, vehicle inspections, legend devices, Those are my daily logs, and I have monthly logs for equipment recalls, hazard material tracking, like all that stuff they put you through for accreditation. We've created logs to be able to track that information here in the system. Okay, emergency response plan and disaster drills. And then we have a tool that allows you to prepare for your next accreditation survey. It's a pre-survey audit tool, and it asks you specific questions that are related to the requirements for accreditation. You can fill those in, and then you can use this tool to track those responses, and your survey can look at that information. Your surveyor can look at that information rather than bugging you for manuals and paper logs and spreadsheets. Everything's in one place with your software. Any questions?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot of information. And I apologize, but there's no other way to do it.
No, it's great. It's answered a lot. There's just a couple of kind of one-off questions. As far as, I mean, I'm assuming because you guys seem so on top of it with everything, when insurance rules change or anything like that, you keep that pretty up to date?
Yes.
Okay. And then conversion and how that looks in your world, I guess.
That's like a dirty word. We don't like it.
I know.
We don't like.
Why we have to ask.
Yeah, we don't like people. We don't like converting in or converting out. The reason we don't like converting in is because it's very difficult.
Right.
Number one, you may not be able to get the easy claim data out the way you think you can. Okay, so that to meet our requirements for our software. So, and then if we do get it out, sometimes, some software does goofy things like address, city, state, zip. They give it to you all in one field, separated by commas. Maybe it's not separated by commas. It just depends on how you did your data entry. When that kind of stuff happens, that means that our software developers have to go in and break those fields up into individual fields. So we need address in one column, address 2 in one column, city in another column, zip in a column, state in a column, and when it all comes jumbled together, it's a nightmare for our developers to try to break it apart. Some records break apart easy, some don't. So what happens is you give us 10,000 records and we get 9,999 of them correct, and one is wrong. It throws everything off, and then it breaks, and then we have to, it's like a searching for a needle in a haystack. We got to go and figure out why that conversion didn't work. So we really don't like doing that. And if it does work and it goes in there messed up, when you guys discover that it's messed up, you'll be really mad at us. So what we recommend to our customers is to say, okay, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. As of November 1st, I am going to stop using EasyClaim, and I'm going to start putting my claims into BFLOW. All of my rentals, I'm going to begin, so November 1, I'm going to start, and so say you sign up effective November 1, you're going to go live with your rentals on December 1st, then I would start entering in my December orders into BFLOW, my rentals, setting them up to go December 1st on the specific month that they're supposed to go on. That way, by the time you get to the first are going, and you should be just about done with all of your rentals by the time you get to the 31st of December. So then we've converted all the rentals by doing it manually that way. And we've put the patients in as needed with those. I would say run down your old AR in your old system, because we can't bring over payments and claims. And then any new orders, put those into BFLOW, obviously, and begin using BFLOW for those new orders. And that's the way we convert customers. When you want to leave, we'll package up all your data and we'll give you your data. We hope you never leave us if you come with us. So we'll package up all your data, we'll give it to you on a disk, and then you're off and you have your data if you ever decide to leave. So the data is yours. What else? I think that's the trickiest part during the conversion or coming over, is just redoing all of your rentals. How many rentals do you think you have in your system now?
Well, I don't even know. We have a lot, but right now, I manually, I have a book that I know I follow and track all my rentals anyway. I think I'm more concerned.
So you have to, so you have to create new orders every month.
No, they recur,
Oh,
but
good.
I have to go in and change modifiers. I have to do it all manually.
Oh,
So
wow.
I
So,
still have to
okay.
track each one to make sure
Okay.
my modifiers are appropriate.
Okay.
I think more of my concern was like the patient conversion part, as far as we do
Bringing
a lot
the
of
patients over?
yeah, we do a lot of supplies that, you know, they've had where they're not in a rental period and they're just getting supplies from us. I'm just trying to figure out the best way that we would convert all of those patients into the new system.
If you twist my arm hard enough, I can bring patients over. Okay. I can do, I don't like doing it. Okay. Because it causes problems. It could potentially cause problems. Okay. And depending on your patient's level, that's, you know, I don't want you to be upset at BFLOW. Okay. So we can bring over patients, insurances, doctors. We can bring that stuff over, but I have to say it with a caveat that there could potentially be some confusion or a mix-up depending on how you give us the data. So the way we would do it, we'd give you a spreadsheet and we want you to fill that spreadsheet out with your patient data. And then we would take that spreadsheet and import it. And we would need you to follow the spreadsheet exactly. So if we have a field for address, you only put the street address in. And if you have a field for city, just the city goes in there, not the city and the zip. We have a field for zip, you put the zip. You know what I mean? It has to be precise if we're going to do the data conversion for you. And that's the only thing that I would say would be an issue on data conversion, is just making sure that you provide us the accurate detail according to the way we give it to you on the spreadsheet. And that can be a challenge because you may have a hard time getting that detail. So it sounds like you have a lot of patience.
I mean, we bill out probably 1,200 claims a month.
Oh yeah, you're
So,
gonna need some importing. You're gonna need a data conversion. So we will make that happen for you, with the caveat that, you know, there could be some snags, but we will work it out. You just have to be patient, okay? If we do hit a bump in the road, and not everybody will tell you that. Some people will tell you, oh yeah, we'll convert your data, no problem, and it'll turn out to be a nightmare. So I just like to be upfront with you so that you know what you're getting into. Okay, is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, very good. All right. So what I wanted to just kind of quickly show you is on our rentals, how easy it is for you to, you know, change the rental periods and put in suspension periods and all of that stuff. So this is how the system knows by modifier for what months it's going to be. So it'll automatically change to KI for month 2 and 3 and KJ for month 4 through 13. So the system is very, you program it, we'll help you, you program it, and then the system will take over, and on all your claims and on all your rentals, it'll just follow this fee schedule. Okay. So that's how that works. Adding doctors is really simple. Do you guys know your MPI number?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. What is it?
It is 191-239-4909.
Okay, so this is your address, the Dales, Oregon, Lone Pine. This is designed for doctors. So since this is a facility, we don't have a facility column in here, but if you were a doctor, your first and last name would have also populated. So adding doctors in is very simple and it can be done on the fly.
Nice.
Quick way to add, it also Paycos checks automatically. And it'll also give you this indication here that it is Paycos enrolled, that the doctor is, with the green flag. Okay.
We only have 2 doctors, so.
That's awesome. You guys are living the dream. That is amazing. Tell me, you have 2 payers too, or how many different payers are you?
The payers are a little more difficult.
Okay, so we can we bill up to I think about 4,000 payers are through Ability Network. This in this example, you can see all the different payers that are loaded in this particular customer's account. They don't take all the payers, they just take the ones that are required. And adding a new payer is really simple. The system will just simply, if you select ability, you can just simply search for the payer on ability. My little wheel doesn't work very well on this. And it will show you all the different payers that we have. If I select this one, it will give me Florida Heritage. It'll give me their payer ID. So it automatically populates it for you. So you don't have to do any work when it comes to adding a payer. So that's a very simple, straightforward process. What else?
So I see that obviously you do like a training, a boot camp.
Uh-huh.
How does it work for like our preliminary training, like before we go live?
We have a learning management system that we're implementing. So right now, we would train you on screen shares and just kind of walk you through. And that it's a nice touch, but what we're doing is we're moving it to a learning management solution. So where you'll go through modules for setting it up. There are some parts where you do some testing, just very basic, knowledge of the system after you kind of watch videos and do things like that. And then at the end of the whole process, you get a certificate saying you're certified. And at that end of that whole process, you should have a completely set up solution. So you can go as fast as you want in terms of the implementation, rather than waiting for us to schedule your next time. You can just speed ahead and, go through your training, self-paced learning on your own. And it's very simple. Guys, I have a hard stop. Okay. So, what other questions do you guys have?
So how does customer support work as far as if we do run into an issue, being able to contact?
So we have two ways. You can call in, you can send us an email, or you can use chat. Okay, so we have a chat here. You just go to support. You can see my screen still?
Yeah.
And you would simply just say, hey, how do I add a claim?
So I guess the only other thing is if you can send us a quote for what the cost is.
Sure, I'd love to. Farm in Oregon and one in Virginia.
Okay.
So that's how we service the East and the West Coast.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Well,
All right.
I can't thank you enough. This was an excellent demo for us.
Oh,
It was
thank
great.
you.